Hey peeps, morning. Let's do some Tuesday morning Luthier. If you can hear someone working, well, it's my neighbors. They're basically demolishing an apartment outside, so it's alright. Okay, cool. Let's see how I can film this. Right? Alright. So this is the Hondo Double Six I got a while back. It got cleaned up. I took the tailpiece off and I started inspecting it. Inside one of the braces, I'll try to put my phone inside. You can hear that. So from here to here, this arm of the leg of the X brace is totally unglued. Frets, I mean, look at the zero fret. It's sitting really up. Let me get a spatula. So, I mean, it's a lot. This is a lot. So plus someone played only cowboy chords. I don't know why this thing wouldn't focus. Anyway, so yeah, plus there are some huge divots here. So someone really only played cowboy chords. I also took off the nut. It was not it's a tusk nut, even though for a zero fret guitar it does basically nothing. Now here's a bone nut I would want to put on this guitar. Here's what it not a nut, the saddle. Here's the saddle, the original saddle. So look at this thing. This is basically just sitting on the top. Here it got cracked. The bridge is a bit cracked. Plus so I don't think it's possible to get some reflection from. It's basically the bridge is just glued onto the lacquer. This is not actually lacquer, but the finish. So pretty bad. And these two screws, these two set screws, height setting screws or whatever they're called, they are sitting exactly on the top. Which, okay, it's rigid enough because it's plywood, but they left some dimples inside, so this is coming off. This will be coming on. It's very loose for the time being. However, I will put two slices of rosewood, if I still have rosewood. If not, whatever Venge or whatever dark wood I have. And yeah, also, I don't know if I can get this from this angle, but here somewhere. So usually there's the famous ski jump. In this case, it's the famous hill. It's the Salisbury Hill here. It's going like that. Everything was buzzing off of this piece. Plus here is going up. So not only that, this zero fret. Let me see if I can get another angle. Not only this is like almost not. Yeah, exactly. It's look. I can take it out with my bare hand. So yeah, this was not properly seated. Plus, look at the barbs on this one. Man, this is from the 70s. So this guitar is actually from the 70s. Anyway, so huge gouges in the second fret and some markings in the first one. So I guess the D chord was played a lot, and A chord and whatever. These frets from the fifth on, they're basically untouched. And yeah, so let's start with structural stuff. Okay, so what I'm doing now, I'm taking off the frets, soldering iron or soldering, whatever you want to call it. Let's get this one hot. I'm not usually putting any solder on the frets, but now there is some solder on the iron, so it's just getting transplanted, let's say, on the fret. I don't know if that brings anything. I know some people do it like that. I don't usually. It's just some residual solder. So with some oh man, this is very low. Okay, got it. Doing this on camera is even more fun. So, got it. Okay, so you just need to raise it a bit, and then you just put it flat and just go with the flow, and try not to do too much damage, because you can actually. Yeah. So, first fret. I think I'll just do a speedy uppy, as that fun luthier from southern UK is saying, because nobody really needs to see all the frets taking out one by one. But anyway, since you're here, yeah, man, this guitar has been through a lot, and I will be needing it for this current album I'm working on, for the Chasing Flames. So my last album, Turning Within, was truly a very philosophical, let's say, introspective one. I mean, look at the barbs on this thing. They're like really few and far in between, and I haven't seen such barbs since yeah, I think I was working on another made in Korea guitar in the 60s or 70s that had something like that, but these are old and really bendy and bad and all that. Anyway, so going back to music, my last album was about half of it is mostly acoustic guitar or solo guitar works. I also have one of the tracks is a duo thing, which was intended for a guitar duo I used to play in. We called it Newman, and very philosophically, and it never happened to be recorded, so I did it by myself. To be recorded as a duo with my colleague Dan. Hi Dan, how are you? Anyway, so after that album is, I mean, nowadays I'm playing in this band, in my band, which is a 3-piece band. I'm Fidas, my my stage name and whatever name, and the band is called Fidas Power Trio because it is a power trio. It's one of the type of bands I've always wanted, and we can't really play the stuff from my third album live. We've been focusing on the first two albums actually for our live work. By the way, we're playing, if you're in Munich, on the 26th of February. Yeah, come by X Bar in Leel to do something about this thing. Let me put my phone on it. Okay, cool. And yeah, we'll be playing mostly our stuff, maybe a cover or two, but yeah, come see the band, come taste the band, as Deep Purple said. Anyway, so yeah, on the third album was very introspective. I kind of explored some very personal stuff. There is a song dedicated to my mom, one to my dad. I've lost them both a while back, and yeah, it was a pretty sad story, so I needed to put that behind me, and I've had songs written for both of them. And even though I'm pretty sure my dad would have made fun of me, he was very sarcastic and he was a big proponent of tough love. Anyway, but with that out of my system, plus it was basically a double album, it has 20 tracks. With that out of my system, I'm now free to explore some other stuff, and since I have this recurrent theme of going back, always going back to whatever. I went back to the thing that really got me excited on guitar. My dad was very big, a big role model for me when I was, growing up. And he was a classic boomer. He basically, that meme when I'm listening to Black Sabbath, everybody's listening to Black Sabbath. Yeah, well, that was my dad. That applied 101% to my dad. So yeah, he was a classic boomer, boomer rock, hard rock, even up to heavy metal, even though he was like not very happy for I was listening to Metallica and some other bands. He was like, nah, that's shite. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going back to the 60s. I'm going back to psychedelic rock. I'm going back to Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton, the OGs, the 60s OGs. And this album is called, or will be called, Chasing Flames, because I'm basically chasing some old flames, as they say it. And I can't wait, because this is truly intended to be a band album and is intended to be easy to play live as a power trio, even though I will be double tracking and multi-tracking and layering guitars. One thing I learned from one of the many YouTube channels which are basically, disseminating incredible stuff for free, is never limit yourself to what you can do live. So don't truly think, like in the classic music kind of way, like I'm writing for a trio and a trio it is, or I'm writing for a string quartet or whatever. Do whatever you want with the recording. Give it its own personality, its own identity, and whatever you do live, you do a version of it live. It's not truly, it does not have to be exactly like that, limited to what you can do live. So that's exactly what I've been taking to heart. Oh, man, this is really hard to... Okay, I got it. And I'm doing exactly that. So if on the album version you need to double track guitar, sorry for the everything, it's on the same table, so the camera is moving a bit. If you need to double track guitar, if you need to double the bass with some synth or whatever to just make it big, do it. If you need to also use samples for drums, I've been using only samples for my first 3 albums whenever I had anything drums or percussion, because I've been doing everything actually here at home. This is our dining part of the living room, and that way is my studio. Maybe I'll do a proper tour of the studio. Leave me a comment if you would like to see that. And let loose of your imagination. It's not, when it is your music and you don't write it for someone else, do whatever you want. That's my modus operandi, and I think it's a pretty good idea, because otherwise you'll be limiting yourself for no good reason, just because we'll be playing this live in a 3-piece band. You don't really, if you really want to limit yourself to the instrument you have, sure, but work on the arrangement, work on the composing part of the music, and not limit it just for the sake of limiting it, because that's what we can do live. I mean, sure, you can draw inspiration from huge power trios of all sorts, from the Police to Rush, and I'm a huge fan of them both. And sure, I mean, they've done wonders with a three-piece band, even though both of them also did double tracking and did some extra stuff on their later albums. So they started kind of like that. Well, it's a trio, so we'll do everything as a trio. But soon enough, they, for example, the Police on Synchronicity too, some of the songs there, well, it was not just a trio. It's a lot more than just a trio. Anyway, so just got to fret number 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more to go. Alright, battery depleted. I just lost power, so I had to also change the battery. Anyway, so where was I? Yeah, about writing and composing and arranging. So yeah, listen to, you know, great bands and great artists, and how they did it and how they went about composing, writing, putting it all together, and yeah, draw inspiration from that. I mean, don't just limit yourself for the sake of limiting yourself. And by the way, like samples and all that, use it, man. If you have them, use them. However, for this album, exactly as I said, I'm going back to what first drew me to music, and it's the 60s and 70s, because as previously stated, my dad was a classic boomer, and I grew up with Zeppelin and Cream and you know, all the greats. He was also a huge fan of Mountain, if you guys know that band, amazing band. Also, he was going into jazz rock territory. Colosseum was one of his favorite bands. Emerson, Lake and Palmer, King Crimson, quite interestingly, because he actually hated jazz. He truly hated jazz. And when I had my jazz phase in my late teens, early 20s, man, he was always making fun of me. Oh, that's, well, what is that? Bling, blah, 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 whatever music. That's not music, you know. And then he would be just cranking King Crimson. I was like, Dad, there's a ton of jazz in there, and you know, fusion and even free jazz in some parts. So yeah, that's a bit interesting. But anyway, yeah, I will do like a monography of my dad in one of the videos. He's truly missed. He died 9 years ago, and I still miss him, and I still remember him a lot. And yeah, I mean, this album will be kind of like going back to my very happy childhood, well, the happy part of it at least, and yeah, going back to those feelings and those states of mind. But anyway, yeah, what's the idea for this album? So after having all that, use samples and use this and use that, I will be doing my best on this album to make it very classic in a way, very, you know, what you hear is what you get. So I will be using the Glyn Jones recording technique, you know, the OG of drum recording in a way, and you know, 3 microphones or maybe 4. Easy peasy, not too fancy, not too anything. And I might use some samples, I might not use some samples. Let's see how well I can record. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to be a lot more basic for this new album, and basic as in, you know, going back to some maybe 60s techniques of sorts, even though I will be recording digitally, not on tape. But yeah, I will try to make it a bit more organic, a bit more down to earth, let's say. I said in some previous videos that it won't be so cinematic. Well, some of the songs are, because it's still me, and that's, I don't know, that's one of the things I'm always going back to. But yeah, so 6 more frets. I can talk about music until next year anyways. So yeah, this one will be having 10 tracks. I'm going classic, like from all sides, you know, like the classic rock albums from, I think, the 60s until the 70s. Most of them had, or lots of them, I don't know if most of them, but they had 10 tracks. Why? I don't know. I think it was because more than that wouldn't fit on a vinyl. I presume that's the case. But yeah, I will be just trying to do more with less. That's kind of the philosophy of this album, you know, less is more. And this particular guitar, I got it exactly for the last song, which is called Into the Sunset. I called it originally Fading Into the Sunset. It's a nod to Pink Floyd, to Two Suns in the Sunset. And yeah, it's it will be interesting. I don't know, for the time being it's just one guitar, no orchestration, no nothing. Maybe we can do something as a band on it, given that is the last song, maybe like an outro piece. This album will be having an actual intro piece and an outro piece. The first track, oopsie. The first song is called First Steps. You know, like a baby having its first, or a toddler having its first steps, and the last one is Into the Sunset. And it's a bit of an haiku if you put them together, you know, like first steps into the sunset. But yeah, and I will be also experimenting with polyrhythms and complex time signatures. For example, the first track, the idea of the first track, don't burn the guitar. The idea of the first track came to me after I finished my electric double six guitar. I will be presenting it in a future video, and yeah, it was just the first idea I had on it, and it's in 15/8. Because why? I don't know, because that's what I'm doing. I'm writing in odd time signatures for no particular reason. I just find them interesting and they just come to me naturally. So it's not something that it's devised, or yes, let's make it more complicated than it should be, or whatever. But yeah, that one is going through to a couple of time signatures. So the main time signature is 15/8, and then it's going through 6/8, and I think it has an extra bar of 1/8 at some point. I don't quite remember. And we still have to record the drums for it. And yeah, I can't truly wait to start working with the guys on the album. We've been focusing on this gig on the 26th, like I was saying earlier. If you're in Munich on the 26th, it's a Thursday. Somewhere around city center, this neighborhood of Munich is called Lel. Yeah, be there. It will be fun. We'll be doing like 2 full sets, you know, full on rock and roll, and it will be really fun. I'm pretty sure people will enjoy it. If you like instrumental music, if you like loud guitars, drum solos, bass, and all that good stuff, yeah, be there. It will be a ton of fun. Anyways, yeah, the last 2 frets. I'm almost done with this part, and yeah, I mean, this guitar, man, you can see this was a beginner's guitar, a cheap guitar, budget guitar. So I don't expect much of it, even though it was sounding pretty good. It was tuned to E standard. I detuned it to D standard because yeah, things were caving in a bit. As I was saying in the intro, one of the arms of the X brace came unglued. I mean, totally unglued. Basically from the middle point up until this entire side is unglued, so that sucks, and I have to see how I can glue it, because the angles and the visibility is really awkward inside. I bought one of this, like an, you know, tiny mirror thing. It looks like a dentist thing. But yeah, let's see if I can do that. All right, last fret. Yay! Happy days, happy days. So yeah, okay, here comes the last fret. Oof, it's really dirty, this neck. All right.